bold journalism.
But Drew Hernandez is a strong-minded individual.
Exposing lawlessness.
Hernandez, who is ideological.
Finding the truth.
And use the word Antifa.
This is what they do.
Battling
They're
mainstream
liars. The
censorship.
woke mob, all they can do is lie.
These are the front lines.
What's going on, thought criminals? Welcome to Frontlines. I am your host, Drew Hernandez. Balenciaga, Satanism. I mean, listen, how many times do we have to sit here and say Alex Jones was right? Alex Jones was right. Like Balenciaga being exposed for their Satanism and their demon child sex god worship. How long has Alex been talking about this in Hollywood and their pedophilia and they love children and they want to have sex with kids? It's nothing new, but we're going to continue to expose this stuff because the normies out there are still living in La La Land as if this is not happening. And by the way, the current administration will not and cannot denounce the CCP and their crimes against humanity for obvious reasons. And I think we all know why that's taking place. But these crimes of humanity will be exposed on this show. I will tell you that right now. My name is Drew Hernandez. These are the front lines. Let's get straight into this. Well, Balenciaga is being slammed even further for obvious reasons for their satanic head designer in wake of the pedophilia controversy. According to the Post-Millennial, last week, luxury fashion brand Balenciaga fell into controversy as disturbing and exploitative photos emerged from their website of children posed in alarming ways with sexualized paraphernalia such as bondage gear, sparking looks at the company's chief designer, Lotta Volkova, who has posted images on Instagram of Satan worship as well as child torture, mutilation, and sexualization of children. Lotta Volkova is a senior stylist for Balenciaga and has worked for Adidas as well. Volkova is a complete and total Satan worshiper and has been reported by her close colleagues that she grew up watching child pornography like it was normal. I think we have some pictures of this individual just so people can get a look at what we are dealing with. Yeah, that's not obvious. It's totally obvious. What else do we have here? Oh, yes, totally, of course. That's totally normal behavior. Oh, my gosh. You see what I'm saying? Like, these people are real. They exist. It's obviously not a conspiracy theory. We have some pictures from Volkova's Instagram as well that are pretty telling. The Satanist worshiping, devil worshiping, oh yes, just human organs out in the open. Sexualizing children, worshiping the devil. It's all a conspiracy theory, guys. It's all a conspiracy. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. There's no pedophiles in Hollywood. There's no devil worshiping going on in Hollywood. No, these people don't want to have sex with little kids. It's a conspiracy theory. And Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist and crazy. Give me a break. It is out in the open for everybody to see. This is literal demon god worship, little g. These people worship Baal or Baal. I think we have a still as that as well in one of the Balenciaga ads. We're on the floor. No, the other one. We're on the floor. The caution tape literally says Baal. This is in their advertising with their satanic pedophilia worship. And people want to sit here and call anybody that calls it out a conspiracy theorist or that's too far. There's no child pornography going on in this world. There's no exploiting of children going on in Hollywood. No, it's all okay. It's all, don't listen to the hundreds of child actors that come forward and talk about the pedophilia that goes on both sides, being taken advantage of by homosexuals and women. Oh, you don't want to get it. Nobody wants to talk about this because it's too conspiratorial. You sound like a crazy person. Don't you think the devil would want people thinking like that? Don't you think that the pedophiles in Hollywood, in the fashion industry, that are open on Instagram about their Satanism and their Luciferianism, and their love for children and exploiting them in their advertisements? Don't you think that they would want the normies and the idiots at home just sitting there repeating and regurgitating, "That's crazy. That's a conspiracy theory. There's no child rape going on in Hollywood." Like at this point, dude, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. Listen, you're an idiot if you sit there and you see this stuff and you determine that it's not going on, okay? If you're sitting at home and at this point you don't think that this Luciferianism and this devil worship and the exploitation of little kids is not going on in this world, in Hollywood, in the music industry, it's open. These people laugh about it. They're proud about it. They're open about it amongst themselves. While the normies that worship celebrities, oh my God, we have to worship the celebrity because they make millions of dollars and never want to say anything and protect them by saying it's all a conspiracy theory. It's all a conspiracy theory. No, it is not. These people are literally engaged with Baal worship. That's what Baal worship is. It's worshiping a demon god. They would have sexual orgies, homosexual orgies, because they believed Baal was the fertility god. They would sacrifice their children to this deity that they believed was God and that would bless them. They're willing to exploit children and have radically sexually charged orgies in an act of worship so that Baal would be pleased. And here's Balenciaga thousands of years later exploiting children, putting Baal in their advertisements, sexually exploiting children. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. You're never going to get rid of it. The devil is more advanced than any one of us. The devil is more advanced than any one of us. The only person that the devil is not more advanced is God himself, God the Holy Spirit, God the Son of God, and God the Father. This is why we need God. We need God individually. This is why we need Christ as a family. This is why we need Christ as a society, as a country, as an individual, because the devil is real. Luciferianism is ancient. Tale as old as time, brother. For people that sit there and like, oh, God's not real. When you have open Luciferians exploiting children, which is nothing new. It's out in the open, and the devil loves it. You want to know why? He loves it because this is what he's always done. To seek, to kill, and to destroy, and to sexually exploit children, and have the masses believe that it's not happening. You know how insane that is? What a move, what a master move, right? To have someone that is so evil, walking, what does the Bible say? That he roams around like a lion seeking whom he may devour. Imagine being so masterfully good at what you do and deception that you can convince the public that it's not real when it's out in the open. It's out in the open, being worshipped and exploiting children and their innocence. Well, and you got people like Kim Kardashian that refuses to forsake Balenciaga. She put out this hack response and said, "I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been disgusted and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could have happened." Are you serious? As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images. The safety of children must be held with highest regard, and any attempts to normalize child abuse of any kind should have no place in our society, period. She said, "I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology in speaking with them. I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. As for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently reevaluating my relationship with the brand, basing it off their willingness to accept accountability for something that should have never happened to begin with, and the actions I am expecting to see them take to protect children." Just cancel Balenciaga. Cancel them. Send them to the abyss. Send Balenciaga to the cancel zone that you could never crawl out of, because that is where you belong. If there's anyone we should cancel, I've been saying this for months on the show. I am all for cancel culture when it comes to canceling pedophiles and people that want to sexually exploit children, period. There's zero tolerance policy. But Kim K gives them a pass because, they deserve a pass. But if it's anything else, oh, they get canceled. So many people get canceled for less. They get canceled for less. But these people are out in the open, sexually exploiting children and worshiping demons, and they get an explanation. Oh, God. Give me a break. This is why we need God. I'll tell you who needs God. California needs God, ladies and gentlemen. We all need God. But California is apparently allegedly releasing thousands of convicted pedophiles into the public. By a guy named Scott Wiener, by the way. Senator Scott Wiener is he's releasing pedophiles into the public in California. It's not a safe place. A Daily Mail investigation has found that pedophiles in California are receiving short prison sentences, even when found guilty of horrific acts such as raping children. Thousands of child molesters are being let out of prison after just a few months. An analysis of the state's database of sex offenders shows California in recent years has made its laws against sex offenders much more lax. You want to know why? Because pedophiles in the mainstream, in the industry, in politics, they all know what they're involved in, and they know that if they can control the levers of power, they're going to make it lenient for them and all of their pedo friends. You see how that works? Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Give me a break. Shut up. You're part of the problem. If you're sitting there still saying this is a conspiracy theory, you are part of the problem. Thanks largely in part to State Senator Scott Wiener, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Wiener, releasing pedophiles into the public. There he is. That is definitely a safe individual that you should, have in positions of power. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Remember Anthony Weiner? Just be careful, guys. Just be careful. In 2020, Weiner authored a bill that would end discrimination against LGBTQ young people by providing exemptions from the sex offender registry. And here we are, total depravity in full color on full display for all to see. You guys wanted to legalize gay marriage? Well, here we are. Look how fast things got. Is God not right? Is God not right? Romans 1. You normalize this, it gets worse. The society becomes depraved, and you deteriorate. You deteriorate morally as a people. And one of the identifying factors of that is a society according to the Bible. This isn't what I say. I just agree with God because he's my Lord and Savior. I'm a Christian before I am a conservative. Everybody knows this. You normalize that, one of the identifying factors is homosexuality in a society, and it only gets worse from there, ladies and gentlemen, and look where we are, where they're trying to normalize kid-friendly, all-age drag queen story hour, waving that damn flag, trying to act like it's inclusive, trying to act like it's civil rights, and it's totally normal. No, it is not totally normal. It's not at all. I mean, here we are. Here's a story from Libs of TikTok. Drag Queen Story Hour is out on TikTok pretty much admitting a nonprofit organization which receives tax dollars to go into schools and public libraries to teach kids about drag. They're admitting that they're doing it, and they're using your money to do it, by the way. Take a look.
I read to kids in drag for a nonprofit called Drag Queen Story Hour. Drag Queen Story Hour uses drag to promote literacy, teach about queer lives, and spark kids' imagination. But programs like ours are being under attack. Right-wing politicians are spreading dangerous conspiracy theories about and inciting violence against drag performers and queer communities everywhere. This is part of a coordinated campaign to deny the rights of queer people who already endure disproportionate rates of suicide and homelessness, and they're trying to legislate us out of existence.
Yep. Conspiracy theory. It's all a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory. That's always the response, right? Just a quick reminder before we get into these stories. The team at Front Page Magazine has been unmasking totalitarians since the earliest days of the internet. Founded by David Horowitz, Front Page Magazine has spent 2 decades fighting the radical left's efforts to destroy America. Front Page's talented roster of authors will help you stay up to date with the latest trends in American conservatism. Their riveting political and cultural commentaries are the reason that Front Page Magazine has been a mainstay in conservative circles for years. As you all know, it takes a village to fight the radical left's efforts to destroy America. That is why, as a fan of Frontlines, you should also check out these guys over at Front Page Magazine by visiting frontpagemag.com. You can also support their cause by making a tax-deductible donation. Go to frontpagemag.com today. Let's continue. All right, breaking news. Twitter, Elon's Twitter, has announced that the COVID-19 misleading information policy has come to an end. Twitter has officially stated, effective November 23rd, 2022, Twitter is no longer enforcing the COVID-19 misleading information policy, which is interesting because they put out a transparent report. If we can get this still up, here are the amount of accounts, okay? This is interesting. Total since January 2020, 11.72 million accounts challenged, 11,230 accounts suspended, 97,674 content removed. Here's what they said. Since introducing our COVID-19 guidance last year, we have challenged all those numbers as of September 2022. You want to talk about suppressing not only free speech, but controlling an entire narrative. Because they determined what was COVID-19 misinformation. I appreciate the transparency coming from Elon. This is a step forward for regaining trust for the platform, and this is why they want to take Twitter off of the Apple Store, because he's revealing the narrative control that these people have been conducting to control public discourse by establishing narrative and controlling people's minds because they know that they can. Well, speaking of that, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, faced new criticism Monday for saying that the Biden administration is keeping a close eye on Elon Musk's Twitter.
A question about Twitter. There's a researcher at Stanford who says that this is a critical moment, really, in terms of ensuring that Twitter does not become a vector for misinformation. I mean, are you concerned about Elon Musk says there's more and more subscribers coming online. Are you concerned about that? And what tools do you have? Who is it at the White House that is really keeping track of this?
So look, this is something that we're certainly keeping an eye on. And we have always been very clear, and that when it comes to social media platforms, it is their responsibility to make sure that when it comes to misinformation, when it comes to the hate that we're seeing, that they take action, that they continue to take action. Again, we're all keeping a close eye on this. We're all monitoring what's currently occurring.
Wow. There it is. The federal government, Big Brother, out in the open admitting, we are monitoring you. We are keeping an eye on you. Remember the whole, they're a private company, let them do whatever they want. No, that was all just smoke screens and more propaganda to give people an illusion of democracy, an illusion of a constitutional republic, of course, because that's what propagandists do, when in reality they want to be in full control. But this is who they are. This is why they were starting disinformation governance boards. This is why they were starting ministries of truth, because they want power, and they're openly admitting that they are watching and keeping a close eye and monitoring Elon Musk, just like they are probably doing to every single one of us. Like we covered on the show a couple days ago. The model that the globalists want, that Klaus Schwab wants, is China. And it makes sense why this current administration is refusing to condemn the actions of the CCP and their crimes against humanity, which is nothing new. Here's a video of a Biden official stating that Chinese protesters speak for themselves, but will not and fails to condemn the CCP.
In that realm, the statement you issued, or that was issued earlier today, didn't include any explicit calls for China to stop detaining and harming protesters and journalists. Why not?
We're watching this closely, as you might expect we would. And again, we continue to stand up and support the right of peaceful protest. And I think we're going to watch this closely, and we'll see where things go.
Oh, but Putin. Oh, but Putin. Putin. Ukraine. But we don't care about the patriots in China. We cannot condemn a serious technocracy and a real totalitarian regime that's enslaving their people, that's continuing to literally weld their citizens in their apartment buildings, leaving them there to die for the zero COVID policy. They're willing to leave people to die in their apartment buildings. And if the building catches on fire, they leave them in there to burn to death and to die for the sake of getting rid of COVID. Nope. The White House will not talk about that. They will not talk about that tyranny. They will not address that authoritarianism. They will not call it out at all. You want to know why? Not because they're hypocrites. That's not why. Not because they're hypocrites. Because they're all on the same side. They love China. They're in the palm of Xi Jinping. They cannot say anything bad about that man. Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, they all say it. We covered it a couple days ago. What has he been saying? That China, these are his words, not mine, that China is the attractive model for the entire world. The way they govern, the way they control their people, the way that they surveil their people, social credit scores, how they control how people can access the economy or not. They view China as the model for America. They view China for the model for the entire world. That is why this administration will not speak out against them either. Build Back Better, World Economic Forum, they're all on the same side. So they will dare not speak out against Xi Jinping. This is why the World Economic Forum, by 2030, we've covered this as well. By 2030, they view the West as not being a superpower any longer. And they also view the traditions or the influence of the West by 2030 to decline and no longer have any influence any longer. And they view countries, they say this, they view countries like China advancing and becoming more powerful. It all makes sense when you view it from this globalist, satanic, New World Order viewpoint. View it with their lenses on. When you begin to view the world as the way that they view it, I'm not saying adopt their views, just watch the world the way they do, all of the puzzle pieces begin to come together. It makes sense why your current administration, okay? It makes sense why the current administration will not call out the CCP because there is an agenda for America to be removed from their superpower position. And they want the China model here as well. But I know with you, I know with me, I know with the thought criminals on the front lines speaking their minds, demanding freedom, and not tolerating totalitarianism. We will never tolerate authoritarianism. We will not allow this country to become the CCP or the New World Order. I know with every single one of you guys watching tonight, that's never going to happen. Stand your ground, hold the line. My name is Hernandez. These are the front lines. I'll see you guys on the next one.
We must play offense. Game on.
You expect the rest of the world to live in La La Land. We're not.
We've been saying these things from day one.
Our solemn vow to you, be good, be brief, be gone.
You might find yourself changing your opinion on things you've never even thought twice about. That really sets America apart.
You are not ready for season 2. This is Reloaded.
My life tale and my truth has been to fight socialism.
Are you familiar with structural racism?
Yeah, it's a myth.